It's your boy Nitty Rich here, back on the Nitty Rich channel, and we are back for Dexter Season 7. One more to go, people. Man, I cannot wait to finish this. But anyway, let's get on to Dexter Season 7. So Dexter Season 7 takes place immediately after Dexter Season 6. So Dexter has spoilers for Dexter Season 6. Dexter has successfully found and killed the Doomsday Killer, but Debs unfortunately catches Dexter in the act of killing Doomsday Killer, and now Debs finally knows that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher. And throughout this entire season, is Debs trying to wrap her head around the fact that he's the Doomsday Killer. And I love that was the best thing about the season, that now she finally knows, and we finally get to see what Deb would do in this situation. Would she protect Dexter because that's her brother, that's her family, or would she turn him into Miami Metro PD? And it's her struggles around it, and we get to see Debs going down a dark path throughout this entire season, just knowing about that, and she's trying her hardest to try to still be there for Dexter, but also try to understand how he becomes that. And I love that. The thing I love more about Dexter in this season is that he's trying to convince Debs, like, yeah, I'm a killer, but, I'm still the same Dexter that you know. I'm still your big brother that you know since you were a baby. I'm still this good guy, but, I just take out bad people. And I really loved it. The other thing I really love about this season is LaGuenta. LaGuenta in this season is probably at her peak, because she finally decided to do something that I wish that they would have done a little bit more in the background. Is that she started to look more into the whole Dokes and the whole Bay Harbor Butcher case, because she never felt like that case was ever really solved. She just hated the idea that everybody would say Dokes was this killer. Mind you, she worked with Dokes for years on the force. They were partners before they both got their promotions and stuff like that. And of course, they were lovers. She knew Dokes like nobody else, so she knows that Dokes is never a serial killer in that sense, the same as of course Dexter is. And I love throughout the entire season, she actually goes and does research and finally realizes that Dexter is the serial killer. And I really love how that's gonna go. And I even love the ending of this season. This is probably one of the best endings in a Dexter season. But I really just love the cat and mouse game between the two characters. And of course, Dexter trying everything in his power to get LaGuenta off of the trail of him, but also still trying to help out with Miami Metro. And this one is not really a true main killer. Like, there's this group that they have to deal with, like this mob group that they got to deal with. But it's not really in the sense of that group is the main killer, because there isn't one, like how season 2 didn't have a main killer. It's just Dexter versus this group and Dexter versus LaGuenta. That's it. And I honestly like that, because even though yes, it would have been nice to have a main killer, but I really love the main guy of the group. He's just such a great character, and I love his interaction with Dexter a lot. And they really do an amazing job with that character. And unfortunately, that don't last forever, but it was such a good plotline. I wish that was kind of the main thing of this season. But of course, I do still like the LaGuenta stuff a lot, because that's what should have basically wrapped up the show, is that whole thing. But of course, we know there's one more season, so obviously that's never gonna be a huge thing, which I hate. But overall, yeah, they do a really good job with this season. It felt like a good season. You got Deb trying to learn more about Dexter and why he ultimately became a serial killer and all this other stuff, and just so many other things. She probably put all the pieces together, and about of course, the ice truck killer. Alright, so next we're going to be talking about Dexter. So, of course, we have Dexter in season 7. This is probably Dexter's most shaky season, because of the fact that Dexter throughout this entire season is trying to get Debs not to rat on him, that she found out his dark secret that he is a serial killer. How Deb walked in on him killing the Doomsday Killer in season 6. So now she's like, what? You've been a serial killer this whole time? Oh, when did this start? He was like, well, I always kind of been like this since, the day, my mother was killed. Harry found out, so Harry tried everything in his power to keep me from going down this path, but he couldn't stop me. So he ended up building a code for me to kill evil people. So, of course, you have her just trying to keep Dexter from killing and going down that rabbit hole again. But of course, Dexter still being Dexter, he still finds little ways to kill when he needs to, and he ends up running into a girl named Hannah who is notorious for killing her husbands that she gets married to, and after a while she ends up killing them to get their like insurance money and all that other stuff that she can get off of them. So Dexter finds out about that and try to kill her, but unfortunately he fails into doing that, so he ends up falling for her, and they end up starting their relationship throughout the season. While you also have Deb on the side trying to go after Hannah herself. So Dexter is trying to also help out Hannah by not getting caught, and of course also he's still trying to get Debs on his side. But then he has two big adversaries this entire season, being the leader of the I'm definitely gonna butcher this, the Kashurik Brotherhood. For the rest of the video, I'm just gonna say the Brotherhood, and their leader Isaac is Dexter ended up taking out one of his members. He found out about it, so now he's trying to go after Dexter the entire season. And I actually really love their rivalry because of the fact of he challenged Dexter more intellectually. It's not just all just to get a bunch of guys try to kill you. There are times where Dexter outsmarted him, and then this time he outsmarts Dexter. And I just really love their back and forth. And I kind of wish that he stuck around more throughout the entire entire season, but his Dexter's biggest adversary for this entire season is Leguetta herself, because Leguetta finally goes down Dokes' old rabbit hole after she finds like a little blood slide, and she's like, wait a minute, why is this here? The only person that should have been here was Debs and Dexter. And of course, she quickly figures out, like, okay, maybe I really need to look at the Dexter some more, and she ends up figuring out that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher, and that Dokes was innocent, and that Dokes was framed for it back in season 2, so she ends up finally going after Dexter hard, and then it leads into, obviously, the finale of the season, which I won't spoil, but there's a lot of good things that does happen because of the fact that everything that was going down. So I'm going to actually talk about Leguetta next. Leguetta is actually a great adversary for Dexter because I like the fact that she's finally showing her detective side, because we don't really get to see it as much throughout the earlier season because she's more playing the political game. She's more like focused on getting ranked up, and we always see like Debs, Dokes, Dexter, and all the other Miami Metro members trying to catch the killer or trying to break the case, and it ends up always going into them. But I like the fact that she's the one actually doing it. She's actually finally doing something that's always been on her mind. She's like, wait a minute, Dokes was this guy that I worked with for so many years. Dokes has never been this type of guy to just kill people just cuz, or however the Bay Harbor Butcher is killing, so I'm going to start figuring it out. And of course Dexter slipped up by having his blood slide being left at the crime scene, so she's able to easily figure out, okay, I need to start looking into him, and it leads into everything that happened. And she actually tried to get somebody from Dexter's past that Dexter wanted to kill for so long but couldn't because they were in prison, got them out, and then that leads into everything that's going to happen at the finale of the season. And man, it's just, they really do a great job with her. It turns from a character I didn't care about for the entire show to a character I really loved and respect a lot. Next character is Deb. Deb plays a huge part this season. Not only did she finally figure out Dexter's identity, I don't like the context of how she found out. She found out because she was going to tell Dexter that she had feelings for him romantically. That didn't work out. So thankfully they quickly brushed that under the rug immediately. They're like, hey, I'm in love with you, like a relationship wise. Dexter's like, I love you as a little sister. I literally helped raise you with Harry and your mom, so I don't see you like that. And thankfully they quickly get that out of here, and then she spends the rest of the season trying to stop Dexter from killing, because she knows that Dexter will eventually try to kill again. But then, as she tried to deal with that, the Hannah situation happened, and she immediately is like, I don't believe Hannah, I don't trust her, Dex, you gotta get away from her, there's something off about her. And I love the rivalry between these two, and I'm glad she finally gets a rival in these seasons, because normally Debs doesn't have a lot of people that she has a rivalry with, and I'm glad that this is a person that she don't like because she wants to protect Dexter, but at the same time she knows that she can't fully protect Dexter because of the person that he is, but she just doesn't want him to be with somebody who's going to enable him more to do what he did. And of course Deb makes probably one of the most shocking decisions at the end of this season, and there's just so many like great thing they do with her for this season. This is easily one of my favorite seasons of Deb in the entire show. And of course, the final two characters we're going to talk about is of course Hannah. Hannah this time around is Dexter's new love interest, and it probably is my second favorite love interest for Dexter. Of course, Rita is my always will be my number one, but I like that Hannah sees Dexter for who he truly is. She loves that even though yes he's a serial killer like she is, she understands that, and I like that she tries to help Dexter into becoming a better person, but also trying to be a little bit more understanding on Deb's side. Like, how would you feel if you were doing something like that for so many years and the person you try to protect for so long found out about it? Now you gotta give her some space, you gotta do what you gotta do, but at the same time you gotta remember that what we do is not normal. And I really like that. And again, I love her rivalry with Debs, and I love the constant cat and mouse game they're having throughout the entire season. And she tries everything she can to help Dexter, but also still trying to help out herself get out of this situation, because she knows Debs isn't going to stop until she eventually capture her. And again, they really do a great job with Hannah, to the point where I would have loved to see more of her. We only got one more season to see her, and I'm kind of sad that she got introduced so late into the show. But she's such an interesting love interest. And the final character we're going to talk about is the leader of the Brotherhood, is Isaac. He is such a fun villain. Like, I like the fact that he does figure out that Dexter is the one who killed off one of his men pretty early into the season, and I like that throughout this entire season he's constantly playing mind games with Dexter. Like, he tried to set up Dexter to get killed in this way, so Dexter had to figure out how to get out of this situation. He's able to dodge the cops. He's playing around with Miami Metro while also still trying to get to Dexter. And I love their scenes when they just sit down and have a conversation with each other, and they get a good understanding of each other, to the point he's like, yo, we could have easily been friends with each other if you didn't smoke my boy, if you didn't kill my mans like that. So of course I gotta get him back because he's a part of the Brotherhood. We love each other like family. Can't just take out one of us thinking you want to get away with it. And Dexter's like, well, but he kills innocent people, and so do you and your gang, so keep coming after me, I will eventually take all of y'all out. And again, it's just such great, and I do like the way he went out, even though I wish it was a bit longer. I'm not going to go into details about that, but definitely wish that he was more the main villain of the whole season, and then leave LaGuetta from the final season. That would have been great, but again, LaGuetta does a great job being the antagonist, and he does a great job being the secondary antagonist for the entire season. And that is mostly it for Dexter Season 7. Easily one of the best seasons of Dexter, in my opinion. It's not better than any of the 4 original seasons, but it is one of the... It's probably is the best of the back half season. So season 5, 6, 7, and 8, it probably is the best one. They have so many great plots in there, like the Deb stuff, or her fighting out Dexter. You have the Maria stuff, and then you have the Brotherhood part of the storyline. They do a great job with that. And yeah, so I will catch you guys later. Hope you guys enjoy. Comment, rate, subscribe as always. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.